us today. Authentic, passionate, powerful. Linda Olson. What wonderful words.
Oh, thank
What
you.
wonderful words. Just a daily practice.
Yes, it is.
It is daily practicing,
Yes.
isn't it? And just a first-time grandmother, having a grandson.
Yay, this week. So much fun.
Oh my
So much
gosh! You
fun.
want to tell us more? Is it a little baby you've already held?
Absolutely. I wouldn't miss that for the world. Within 3 hours of it being born, beautiful little grandson. He is so precious. So, of course, yesterday I went early in the morning and in the afternoon.
Well,
Today
they
he
grow so
comes home.
fast.
Yes, today he comes home.
But they live locally.
Yes, they do, and that's what's so fun. Yes, they live within 3 minutes of our place, so that's the best thing. I can run over there anytime.
That kind of support. It really does take a village, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
And the older, I remember, Linda, when I was in my early 30s and I was going through my first divorce. I was married 11 years and we have 4 children together. And my father, very concerned for me, the message he gave me was, baby, you're not getting any younger. Meaning, maybe you need to lower your expectations and just kind of settle in a little bit and be grateful if any man would want you. And I just so immediately, because my daddy is the best man I've ever encountered. He's God's gift to me as a female in this world. But I remember telling my daddy in that moment that I'm only going to appreciate. My value will never depreciate. My value is only going to appreciate as I grow more and more into my authentic self, never ending, discovering the gifts that are divinely placed in me. And a lot of that requires resilience.
Absolutely. And with all you'd gone through earlier, you learned from that. And as long as we're willing to learn from that, absolutely, your value only increases. You said it well. You become better.
Well, the
You said
worth of a
that was
woman.
more to worth.
True.
Absolutely.
What we bring to this world, what we bring to our men, our communities, and I claim them as wise men who know how to support us and orbit with us and watch our growth and encourage our wings. Your husband, Rick, obviously, that's the kind of love you two bring to each other.
Absolutely. Wouldn't trade it for anything.
Well, heck no. And savor every minute.
Yes, and now we get to share it with the new grandbaby too.
Oh, just a deepening, and the love is explosive.
Yes, it is.
When we step into being grandparents, because we see even more clearly how important it is that we stay connected
Absolutely.
and know our place.
And know our place. That's right.
As a woman, it really is, it's knowing our place, and then the freedom to speak
Yes.
when we are confronted with all of the urgencies of today.
And there are a lot.
So,
There are a
Linda,
lot.
tell us more, just how you've grown into being a public speaker.
Oh, goodness, it's been a long journey. You know what? It started way back in college, and I was required in my first year to do a communications class. I was so frightened. I tried everything I could to get out of that class, but it was a required class, so I couldn't. So we had to give these 4-minute speeches, and the president was the one that taught that class. And as I gave my speech, I'll tell you, I was so scared. I had 4 or 5 of my closest friends praying for me the whole time that I was doing it. And after the president got up to give his evaluation, and he said, everybody spoke too fast except for Linda. And I couldn't believe it. Well, it was only because I had this cotton mouth and the words couldn't come out. So, you know what? That experience was a breakthrough for me, because now I knew I could do it if I had to. And in time, the more I did it, the easier it came. And now I'm actually having fun with it. I do. I have a lot of fun with it.
It is something you grow into, isn't
Absolutely.
it? Because it takes
Yes.
courage to really free your voice.
Yes.
And, most of us, by the time we're 8 years old, we've been silenced. And then to reclaim that, it's just the power of words, choosing our words carefully, and then leading by example. But those moments of terror and fear, I say it's paralyzing, because that's what it feels like inside of me.
Well, you know that public speaking is one of the greatest fears. I mean, it ranks right up there, right up there at the top. And so it is. And I don't know why exactly it is that frightening, what we think is going to happen to us. But it's somehow, we just, it's all about facing our fear, stepping through that, breaking through, doing it again, doing the thing we fear the most.
Moving beyond that fear.
Absolutely.
Because the commodity we're trading here is I trade my fear for courage.
Mm-hmm.
So every time I step beyond that fear, whatever that is, now sometimes that fear can be a protection, a healthy fear. Don't you think, of backing away?
Oh, yes, it can. Absolutely. Yes.
So
and we have to know the difference when it is a healthy fear and when it is a fear that is holding us back from our potential. That's the big thing. And that's often what we hide behind, and it keeps us from being the success we want to be.
It really is. It's an armor, a barrier, and it just can cave in on oneself, and it hardens the heart, and it burdens the spirit so deeply. Despair, desperation is where the house of fear is. And so as we free one another from that, moving step by step, one step at a time, one day at a time, it is the discernment, the wisdom.
Yes.
And what I had to go, it's taken me 5 decades now to grow. I had to really learn how to trust God first, that direction, that little tickle in my heart, that little sing, that little, whoo, go in that direction. Whoa, you want to go over there. Whether it's a pair of earrings, a personality, a neighbor, whatever. It's children especially bring that out in us. They show, so reconnect us to the wonder in the world. It does get easier.
Yes, it does. With practice, it does. Like
It
anything
really
else,
does.
it's a skill. It's truly a skill. And then when we learn to share from our hearts, that's when it makes a big difference, because that's when people see the passion. And more than anything else, our world is crying out for people to just be authentic, be real. We're tired of all this pretend stuff.
Oh, it's what I
Because
call
it doesn't work.
posturing. I really have learned to recognize the posturing in the human body, and that's 100% ego-based. And posturing is all about dominance. It's the bully that lives inside of every one of us. They want to get on top. And as we disentangle from that destructive behavior and just free the self, the spiritual liberation of knowing that God created something in His image, and that this is really the house, the real estate that I own and can make a difference in, and stay connected with it. And then the kingdom within is what I would call that.
Absolutely. That's well said. Because it's the fear that keeps us defensive. It's the fear that keeps us hiding behind. And that's why children, you mentioned children earlier, they're so free. They haven't been hidden there until they've been hurt. And then they start backing up. And now as adults, we're capable of breaking through that pain regardless of when it happened, so that we can be free to be ourselves.
Oh, I reached a moment where recovery simply was not going to be enough for me. I just trust God. I trust the divine. I trust the rightness within the design that we're given, and that I can flourish, just fully recover. And so the importance of relationship in all of this, because success, healthy, wealthy, and wise, our health is our wealth, and we use our wisdom to navigate how to maintain our well-being. And we do this in the energy we feed one another,
Absolutely.
the way that we acknowledge and validate one another, just in the presence, the power
Yes.
of now.
Yes, and relationship is the bottom line of all of this.
Oh, well,
It truly is.
that's the Christ.
Yes.
That is the Christ. Mind is the relationship and the recognizing the divinity in one another.
Right.
So, and we do this, and then the difference is just what makes it interesting. The differences doesn't have to make us fearful. It's the teaching tool of fear. We have been in the school of fear for decades and centuries now. So we're freeing one another. We're doing this 2 by 2. God heals this world 2 by 2. I loved in your video when you so clearly reminded us that the discomfort is temporary.
Yes, it is.
It's temporary, that discomfort, and then once you break through that fear and you start tasting the elixir on the other side, the infinite resources, and it is truly the good company on the journey.
And it is temporary as long as we want to make it temporary. See, it's still our choice when we want to break through. We make that choice. That's what's so exciting is we do have control of this. We feel with fear, we don't. We do. It's our choice as to when we're ready to step forward and break through that and have that freedom.
I have so many times in a day say ready or not. You know, that's kind of my way of just embracing it. Ready or not. Because I know the fear of this camera, because I've only been in front of it not even 3 years now.
Well, you did great.
Well, it is, you know, ready or not, here I am. So, and the judgment, it's all the judgment, the condemnation, the criticism, the negativity that is embedded in the teaching tool of fear. That is what is
tied into the fear of rejection.
It is all tied into
So
that.
tied to rejection.
The obedience to the world it tries to override our direct connection with the divine. And my obedience is there. So even though two-leggeds will come around and give me advice, suggestion, guidance, there's messengers, angels everywhere, two-legged and four-legged, I'm still, this is my source. So that fear is my first recognition of the communication of the other person with me, or just even now it's difficult for me to even relate or even want to spend time. It's a challenge for me to spend time with someone who's locked into that posturing.
Yes, and it's amazing once you've broken through that how quickly you can pick up on it, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, I think it's one of my survival skills. I've been up against the destructive natures of the ego again and again and again. And I thank God for every lesson in the School of Hard Knocks, because I am who I am today, and I'm okay with it. So, but I do have much respect for that destructive nature and how tightly the grip on our society, especially the United States of America. We have this ideal, and then we're striving to deal with the real, which is the unbridled greed. So as you talk about paradigm shifting, taking us back into the grassroots of community and helping to undo the habit of the, shallow surface communication, and we drop it down into the heart, and that's where the success lives.
Absolutely. That's exactly where it goes. And see, it's only as we're willing to step beyond and break. And we're not going to do that until we feel safe, until we're with someone or in the community where we're feeling safe. It's only then that we'll be willing to take the risk to step out and try new things. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter how small these steps are. We all start with baby steps. That's how we start in life. Well, this is a new journey. And we can start that way here too.
And when you talk about that, well, for me, I have been able to learn that I'm safe through my tears. If I'm with someone and I feel my own personal tears coming to the surface, then it is a direct link to my heart that this is just a safe soul that I can share whatever is hurting me in the moment. And I've had to move beyond that ridicule, because they're never in my timing, in the comfort of my bathtub where nobody can see. It's always right out in public.
That's a safe place.
And that's where the angels are moving, is in that. And the tears are the release. And then love lifted me.
And that's exciting for you to share about the tears, because we identify in the pain. But do you know how few people there are that are really comfortable with tears? We always, don't cry, stop that.
Oh yeah, we rush to get something to damp it down.
Absolutely.
But that we all have so many, and another turning point I got to is that it doesn't even matter whose tears there are anymore. They just need to be released. So I'm willing.
Tears are cleansing.
Oh, they're so cleansing. Laughter is a release.
Yes.
Tears, sweat is a release. God gives us these amazing release valves within this instrument if we're willing for the honesty. It takes safety to be honest.
That's right.
It
That's
sure
right.
does.
And that's when we can break through those barriers, and not be locked in. When we feel safe enough with someone to trust them, that's when we'll break through. Yes, absolutely.
Now, so the importance of our primary relationships, healing the world 2 by 2, whether it's, parent, child, sibling, spouses, wherever we are, we have this ability to just be a part of the healing force on this planet. All are chosen, and few are willing. So as I practice my willingness, I'm the purpose is so tangible. It's nothing to do about the monetary reward, because the trust is that I'll work for food. It's all I have to do is just show up and be real. And somehow there's others around me that are willing to be supportive of that.
Yes, one of the principles that I shared the other day was that when we give to someone, they want to give back to us. And we don't realize what a huge gift just listening to them is. Just to listen. Our world is starved, truly starved for someone just to listen to them. And when we get a listening ear, unfortunately, we just tend to dump a lot of times, but we still don't do that until we really trust them.
Yes.
And so that is one way of doing it. Yeah.
Oh, and it begins, it is that discomfort of why am I the only one, that's willing to be real, and everybody else is kind of pushing you to the forefront because you have the courage, but then to turn to the side and say, wait a second, it is the reciprocity. When I met Jim Greenleaf, I think that was the main word that I brought to the table was reciprocity, the giving and the taking. Because a lot of us good-hearted souls, we give and give and give and give, and then we're burnt out. Because when is it my turn? When is it going to be returned? There's a lot of takers for the givers. So the healthy dynamic relationship is the full circle of giving and taking. We're giving and we're taking, and just that mutual feed.
See, change is first. You said, when is it my turn? There's a great little inspirational book put out by Simple Truths, and it's called Change is Good, You Go First.
Amen!
And that's exactly what we want to do, don't we? We just always want somebody else to take all the risks. And then we watch them. We sit back and watch them. And if it's safe, and this seems to be rewarding, then maybe we will step out.
Ooh, and usually that one behind us is the one chattering that I think you're making the wrong decision. I think you better watch where we're going.
But the people that step out and are willing to take those risks, sooner or later, they will walk right into some wonderful success. And then we're sitting back and say, why didn't I do that?
Well, and everybody can.
Absolutely.
There's no magic in this.
Opportunities are all there for all of us.
It's just practice. So what are you practicing? What are you practicing? Are you being your own best friend? Are you learning how to just be the friend you've always wanted to be? And are you really listening with your heart? Are you absolutely certain you know all the answers? And how far in are you in to the cycle of disease? Because this world is in a world of hurt. It is a very true cycle of disease. And as we unplug from the voices that want us to consume more and to be sheeple and to silence our voices and our own innate knowing, that wisdom that was placed inside, that's how we vote with our dollars. I feel an action of power, learning how to feed myself, even from the dirt up, learning how my food is grown, taking my ornamental flower beds and turning them into something I can consume. Superfoods and herbs, and we have so much that we can literally do with our resources in our own homes as we discover, how to just really bloom and transplant, be where you are, bloom where you are. It's very invigorating.
Yes, it is. It's that, see, because we're going back, it's the organic. We're going back to the authenticity. It's going back to being real and basic. This is who I am. We're all born with the same basic needs, and that doesn't change.
No, it really hasn't. One human being at a time. Everybody deserves a belly good of healthy food and a safe place to lay their head at night. So Linda Olson, right here in the Antelope Valley, we have the Grace Fest coming up. That's in September, and that's an all-inclusive Christian event where a full day of family nourishment on all planes, physical, emotionally, and spiritually. A lot of healing that happens throughout the Grace Fest. And then beyond that, in November, up at the Painted Turtle, which we thank you, God, for resurrecting the Painted Turtle. The fire did serious damage to them, and they're not even opening, I don't believe, until mid-October. We'll be out there in the middle of October. But you yourself and the great company that surrounds you are going to be at the Painted Turtle for what?
Well, Marva, thank you for that great introduction. Two of my friends, Nancy Burrows and Taralee Harrison, we are going to put on a all-Valley Women's Conference. In fact, it's not limited to people in the Valley. Certainly people from wherever can come. And it's called WOW, Women of Worth, because that's exactly what we are, and that's exactly what Marva and I have been talking about this whole time, is we're hiding behind those fears, but we don't have to. These are women, my friends and myself, have walked through a long and difficult, painful journey. The good news is that we've gotten beyond the pain, and because we've been able to find ways of healing, that we want to share those tools and ways that we can help others find healing in their journey as well. So it's teaching, it's healing, it's serenity, it's really, we're setting it up like you're walking into this enchanted forest. In fact, the girls and I were there yesterday and had so much fun.
There is so much enchantment at the Painted Turtle. So there's so much wonder and play in the architecture, in the landscape. And so you guys got to step in.
Got to step in and decide how we're going to decorate this and set this up so that the entire day will be an experience. That's what's fun. The whole thing will be an experience. It's a one-day retreat at a very, very minimal fee to come in and to experience in many ways healing, the serenity, the peace, the joy, and all that it offers. And the people, let me just say, Painted Turtle, people are so gracious. They're absolutely so gracious. And they have fought with this forest fire and like Marva said, have had some extreme damage, but they have been so gracious in having us come in and just offer their facility to share it with others in the community. So we are so grateful and very excited about this event.
Well, it's the first Saturday in November. We always have amazing weather. It's a full day event and this divine healing energy at the Painted Turtle. The collaboration, the mutual fee, so every woman who is on site will bring her unique contribution. Yes, suffering is optional. Suffering is optional. And we forget that as we feel the pulse of the pain in the world. But by its very nature, that's precisely what we need to do. Rise above it. Rise above it. And we're given the encouragement and the tools and lunch. Lunch is included.
And we're planning a special one.
Well, women of worth, wow. Every female gathering, every sisterhood, every time I go in the direction of soul food, it is forever accompanied by amazing, delicious food. It's just part of what we uniquely bring.
Absolutely.
We will be fed well. We will be fed deliciously. $29 the first Saturday in November the 2nd. You want to discover more about the woman of worth inside of you. We all have more to do and to grow And I am so blessed with great company on this journey, Linda Olson.
Oh, thank you. And likewise.
Wow! Wow!
How do we get tickets?
The best thing is to go to the WOW website. You can get tickets there. We will also have places throughout the community where we will offer tickets, and we'll have that out very, very soon. Yes. And another big place, we will have a booth at the Grace Fest. So that's a good place to get tickets, because that generally draws about 5,000 people from our community.
Yeah, so at the Grace Fest, WOW will have its own booth.
Yes.
Women of Worth, you know, it's in every one of us in the female body, and the world is so in need of us. So let's collect, let's just infect, collect, infect, and be what we were uniquely created to be. Now, okay, how I knew that Linda, I could just be all that I am with Linda, this is another little clue that God gives me, as I noticed her earrings. I don't know if you can see them today, but when you meet Linda, she'll be wearing these earrings, and they're truly called hookers. And I learned this like 20 years ago. A girlfriend here in town, she would bring jewelry from the Midwest from a jeweler named Frog. This is a true story. Phyllis Fleming's family knows this story. She was raised in Joplin, Missouri. And when she would go check on her family, she would bring back this little case of jewelry from Frog. And the very interesting pieces. So I, at that time, collected 2 sets of these earrings because... hookers, and they truly do, they just hook right on your ear. There's no piercing needed. Not everybody wants piercings and tattoos, people. So, not everybody does. So Linda Olson, with great love and appreciation and admiration, I have 2 pairs of these hooker earrings that I know you will rock.
Thank you, absolutely.
Forever yours, my darling.
Oh,
No obligation,
what a
pay it
blessing.
forward. Whatever
Thank
you do is
Thank you.
unconditional.
Oh,
But you
that's
wear them like
sweet.
nobody else I've ever seen.
Well, they're kind of unique, and it's interesting, your story of your background, because I was introduced to them at the Sawdust Festival that they do at Laguna Beach every summer for 2 months. And in fact, there's a lady there, I met her personally and was in her home, who makes these. And that was like 30 years ago. And I really never ran across ones that were exactly like it. So it's so fun. So I've worn them for years and I love them.
Well, there you
because
go.
they just hook on. You can just slide them off. See?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then you slide them in. You can still wear studs if you like the piercing and so forth. But
Mm-hmm. You
they're
can
just
add to
very
it.
comfortable and fun.
Very comfortable, and yes, and they are fun, and that's what we want to do, just have fun in our daily walk, don't we? That's my basic fuel, is the laughter. Laughter is the medicine.
Yes.
Thank God we bring it out in one another. Hair by Angel, making us more beautiful. We so appreciate you, Angel. And Linda, what else? Anything more today?
Well, I'll tell you, we've covered a lot of ground. We've done well.
This is such a delight. This is what gets me up in the morning, is just discovering the desert stars all around us. So,
Speaking of desert stars,
yes, sir.
and your authenticity, whatever it is, you had a chance to interact as your favorite person, Kitty Claus, with the Mayor Pondo
Yes,
in the chambers.
yes.
And we're going to go out on that.
Okay. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Hello, Antelope Valley and beyond. I am Kitty Claus, and I am standing in Southern California. It's always a good day in Southern California because Santa and I heard in the North Pole that there's changes happening here in Palmdale, California, Antelope Valley. A lot of positive growth, and we are blooming each other very well all around this globe. Here is one of our favorite elves, Mayor Jim Ledford.
Hi, welcome, Kitty.
Well, thank you, Mayor Ledford. You're my first mayor that I've had on the video with me, and I get so excited when I think about moving forward in our world,
Yes.
and that's what that's what you're doing. Your whole community is behind you, and everyone is excited about the future.
Yes.
No need to be afraid. Let's get excited about the
Fear
future.
doesn't motivate, does it?
No, it doesn't. Fear paralyzes, and we want to be excited about our daily lives. Blooming well in the desert, is that hard to do?
No, not at all. There's a lot of blooming going on here.
There is?
Yes.
So who's the desert flower that came up with the idea of redirecting your Christmas parade?
Actually, that was a collaboration. I think we might give the impetus to this guy that's walking in right now. We don't want to see him yet, but Dave Childs, our city manager, we're going to give him the play on this one.
Okay, but you know, he's on the iffy list.
No, he's been bad, but that's good.
I think he's way more good than bad, but let's start there. Dave Childs, Kitty Claus is here, and she wants to talk about the Miracle Mile.
That's you.
Hello, Dave Childs. We've been paying attention to what's going on here.
Hey, I've been nice. It says right on here.
You have earned your
nice.
way back on the
Been
nice list because
That's right.
it was iffy there, you know, and if it wasn't for Barbara, then you may be in a bit of a hurt, but you are A.V. Nice,
I am.
newly transplanted to the desert.
Correct. Yes.
Pretty well seasoned now because I've been paying
Yes, a year
attention.
and a
broke
half.
in.
Yeah. Broke in is a good word.
Tell me, I came to town just to learn about the Miracle Mile.
Well, I don't know what you've talked about already because I just walked in the door, but what I can tell you is it's just totally exciting. You know,
Yes.
47th Street, it's, both ends of 47th Street are dynamic retail areas with great things happening. And then the whole area in between is the place where people can gather to watch a great parade. I'm just really excited about the possibility.
And the miracle is it defies the perception. East Side, it is a miracle when you get out there because
Miracle
there's all
on
kinds of great,
47th Street.
great
Right.
retail. There's some great things going on out there, and it's all new and shiny, and we want to show it off. So
That's right.
Hence, that's where the parade will go, and we'll be able to have show our miracle to the rest of the Antelope Valley.
Miracle on 47th Street East is between Avenue R as in reindeer and Avenue S as in Santa. And it's just going to be an amazing parade right where it deserves to be, on your Miracle Mile.
That's right.
And the collaboration, I think that's the great thing. The Palmdale Chamber of Commerce and the city working together on a new venue to show off our East Side. And this is what we've heard from our retailers when we walk out there and talk to them. They want to see more exposure, more events, more attention, because it's a beautiful part of our city.
It sure is, and it's only blooming better and better every year. Santa and I want to thank you for being some of our favorite elves and to continue to be leading by example. And we can't wait to see the parade. The second Saturday of December.
Come on down.
Second
That's it.
Saturday of every December. Now on the Miracle Mile. Miracle on 47th Street East between R as in reindeer and S as in Santa. Second Saturday in December. Something to live for, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
keep
Come on
blooming
down.
well.
I'm there.